Or we're on.
Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everyone, everywhere, depending on where and when you are joining us. All month, we've been talking about our finances. We've been talking about leaving generational wealth. We've been talking about understanding our finances and how to make our money work for us instead of us just working for our money. Today, we're going to talk about the psychological impact of finances or the lack thereof. Now, I did forget to tell you that outside my door, it's sunny, it's chilly, and it is windy, like hurricane windy. I'm telling you, I was driving my car down the highway this morning and it was pushing, and I got a big one, and it was pushing me all over the road. But then again, I was doing 90 miles an hour. However, what's it looking like outside your door? Again, welcome to Africa Online. And we are today going to be talking about psychological impact of your finances, mostly the lack thereof. So at this time, we will have our co-host, Professor Nia-san, give you the editorial of today.
Good day, good afternoon, good evening, greetings, depending on your time zone. Whatever it is, keep hope alive. Thank you and welcome to our Sunday discussion on Africa Online Media Corporation. Today is Sunday, the 27th day of April. Yes, it is the 27th. That is the 117th day of the year 2025 on the Gregorian calendar. So we have 248 days left until the end of 2025. This April 27, not 25, 2025, is the 17th Sunday in 2025 on the 18th week of 2025 using United States Standard Week number calculations. It is the 39th day of spring, Ambassador Lisa, so we're counting down to summer. That leaves us, therefore, with 54 days until the end of this, what I usually characterize as a beautiful season, spring, because of all the freshness, the greenery, and the beauty out there in the plants and the flowers and so on. Today is Divine Mercy Sunday, a religious observance celebrated among Catholics on the second day of Easter. As Pope St. John Paul II stated when he formalized the day, quote, "It is a time where we are blessed with divine mercy as it reaches us through the heart of Christ crucified," end of quote. Divine Mercy Sunday therefore focuses on the gifts that flowed from Christ's death, burial, and resurrection, his mercy and love that were so freely given to humanity after such a brutal betrayal and crucifixion. Divine Mercy Sunday concludes the Easter celebrations and welcomes the ultimate gift that Christ gave after his crucifixion, death, and resurrection. Today also is National Tell a Story Day. Don't forget to tell that story you have always been wanting to tell, even if just to your grandchildren or to some other kids around your place. It is a day that reminds us that stories have the undeniable quality of transporting us to another time and place as we go about the day's business. Stories are also great bonding material since people create memories as they immerse themselves in the storytelling business. So, whether things happen in real life or are a product of our imagination, stories form an interesting part of human dignity and human society. In the old days, one should remember, stories were used as history recording tools as well as entertainment. We cannot conclude this without mentioning that 3 countries on the continent of Africa had celebrations today, this 27th day of April. Sierra Leone was celebrating its independence within the British Commonwealth back in 1961 when they gained that independence, when Sir Milton Mackay was the first prime minister. And after several years as an autonomous republic in the French Union, the West African country of Togo, TGO, Togo, yes, Togo, became independent on this same day in 1960, April 27, 1960. We wish the people of Sierra Leone, therefore, and the people of Togo happy Independence Day celebrations. But we're not done yet. Meanwhile, South Africa's Freedom Day, celebrating the first non-racial election in 1994 actually, is a public holiday in South Africa commemorating the first post-apartheid elections held on this 27th of April in 1994. It also marks the day on which the new South African Constitution was introduced. The elections on that day, April 27, 1994, were the first national elections where everyone of voting age of over 18 years from any age and race, from any race, was allowed to vote. It had been restricted most of the years. Finally, on this April 27, back in 1904, the final construction of the Panama Canal started after being abandoned in the late 1800s by the French. It was completed in 1914. It took 10 years to construct. The Panama Canal significantly shortened maritime travel between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans, making it one of the most strategic artificial waterways in the world. The project, that is the Panama Canal, not only transformed global trade, but also had lasting political and social impacts in the region. It might have been a Herculean task for those who did the work, but then they did so with delight, even though stressed. And talking about stress, our in-house medical experts are here today, or will be here today, I believe, to walk us through what you heard Ambassador Lisa say, the psychological impact of financial stress on all of us as we go about minding our businesses, watching the sunrise and the sunset. So since we are stress-free and we're not talking about it now, we have to worry and settle down so that together we can talk about what it means, the mental tension caused by difficult situations. One is usually tempted to ask, so what are those situations that would trigger those natural human responses to challenges? While a stubborn child's tantrums may throw off a parent, a nagging wife's outbursts often send a husband feeling bad. Yes, stressed, we may say. So here we go. Let us welcome the chair of AfricaOnline Media Corporation, Her Highness Reverend Palm, to welcome all of us to this discussion and get this talk started. It is unscripted, but you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nia. Some great outfit, by the way. You are Ambassador Lisa decided to take a break from the African outfits, you know. So, but on behalf of AfricaOnline Media Corporation, I want to welcome everyone, all our viewers, and of course our team here, Dr. Crosslin, Ambassador Lisa, Sister Debbie, Nia Song, of course, you know, and our Dr. Goji is not available because he's at a function where he can't talk. But we're waiting for Dr. Santos. I hope he joins. He's really on time. And yes, with the inflation and the instability of what's happening with the markets and here in the US, people are scared and financial stress is gone up. So we want to talk about the psychological impact of financial stress. You don't have to be an expert to be able to talk about it. So all of us will keep talking, and then hopefully Dr. Santos will join us soon and speak to us from a clinical psychologist standpoint. So Ambassador Lisa, over to you.
Thank you, Reverend Pam. As we all said, we're going to talk about this month. We've been dealing with our finances. We've been talking about how to invest, where our money should go to make our money work for us. But when that does not happen, when our month is more than our finances, it can lead to financial stress. And we want to talk today about how to handle some of those stresses until our guest speaker arrives. We've all been there. So we may not be experts, we may not be degreed, but we got some form of degree in handling financial stress. One good thing about us as a people, we don't let too much stuff get us down. We don't let too much stuff toss us around and throw us into a tizzy, because we've always been able to bounce back. But what happens to us when we are in financial stress? How does that affect our health? How does it affect us mentally, physically, spiritually, and emotionally? We're going to deal with all that today. So I know, we tend to sometimes, things that can put us in financial stress is those credit cards, especially when you're a college student. Those people are on your college campuses with credit card applications, telling you how easy it'll be to own this credit card, and you just have to pay the minimum. I actually think that's criminal when they don't tell these young people that paying just the minimal is going to cause them to be paying this bill for years. They'll be paying that credit card bill as long as they're paying financial student loans. And that's I think that's a criminal act when you undermine young people who may not have had the benefit of any financial education before they come. So one of the ways we get in stressors is that we get credit cards. Young people, adults, we spend, and we forget about that interest. I think interest now is like 34.99% on a credit card. It used to be 29, 23. And we forget that bill has to be paid. I know I called my credit card company one day and I said, listen, I think there's some fraudulent activity on my card. They said, what's the matter? I said, well, there's this $75 fee every month coming out, and I'm not buying anything for $75. They said, oh, man, that's the interest. I was like, you mean I'm paying the bill every month and the interest is $75? That's like half of the bill. So we need to be a little bit more savvy and, just educate ourselves and educate our children more, so they don't end up with these financial stresses. They don't follow in our same footsteps. How are you, Nia Sung, with handling your credit cards?
Just making sure that I don't use them when I don't need them, and that I don't spend the money that I don't have. Make sure that the money is there, and when I use it, I make sure the next time around I pay back immediately. I don't wait for it to get to that stressful point. So I make sure that I avoid stress by making sure that I pay off the debt as soon as I can, as soon as the money is available.
Okay. Well, that's one way to look at it, and that's the way we should be looking at it. Our credit card should be used for emergencies. It should be used for when we need to purchase something that we just have to have and can't get right now. But at the end of that month or before that month starts, you should be able to pay that whole bill if you're not looking to pay those interests. So.
Yes.
I'm sorry. So,
yeah, I thought you cut yourself short.
No, she's reading my text message.
Yes, Reverend Pam sent me a message and my eyes shifted because I saw the computer shift. Okay. So the credit card is one of those things that causes us stress, and a credit card bill can cause us stress emotionally, physically, and financially. A credit card will throw us into 3 different areas in our psyche, in our life, that will mess us up. So we need to be very, very careful with our credit cards. So if you have a credit card and you have it for a specific purpose, make sure that it's used for that purpose and that purpose alone. I called the bank this week to talk about my new credit card because I was trying to, excuse me, get it set up for my other bills that normally come out of it. And she was telling me that, oh, we usually have a problem with this. The bank, the company had problems trying to get the money out. They were trying to send that little 10 cent or that penny and stuff that they do. And she said, oh, we've been having problems with this company before. So we've been flagging it. That's why they're not able to get your credit card to go on. But they did what they needed to do. So when we use our credit cards, we need to be aware that there's a lot of scams going on that can mess with our mind and cause us financial stress. So we need to be mindful and check your bank statement every month. Check it periodically. I have a friend who checks her bank account every day. every day to see what has come in, what has gone out, and what should not be there. And we're finding that a lot of people are being scammed. You're getting phone calls or messages from your friends who say they need something. And I'm not talking about those Nigerian scammers where I'm stuck in this country and I can't get out. I'm talking about, oh, yeah, I'm at the hospital and I need a ride home. And I'm like, check with your friends first. Don't just say, oh, yeah, okay, I knew she went to the hospital. Let me just shoot her some money. No, check to keep your credit intact so that you're not getting scammed and causing this kind of stressors. So I'm going to take a break right here, and I'm going to welcome our other guests. We have with us Sister Debbie, who is always one of our usual regular contributors, and Dr. Gloria Crosland, who is one of our regular contributors as well. So hello, Gloria. Deborah, how are you this afternoon?
I'm doing well, my darling sis. You look so beautiful today. Thank you for asking. You're welcome.
Thank you. You as well. So we're talking about financial stressors, and knowing that you also come from Africa, where while you were there, I don't believe there was credit. So you come to this country and credit is everywhere. They're shooting you messages, there's emails, there's all kind of advertisement for you to get credit. Did you happen to get credit and mess it up, or talk about your credit experience, if you don't mind?
Thank you for asking. In Africa, I will say we didn't have anything like that. Credit, you had to go to they call it Njangi House, where you contribute a certain amount, and at the end of the month they give it to one person. The following month they give it to the next person.
Okay.
So there were no banks. Even if you had banks, it was not for people who live hand to mouth. So coming to America was quite a huge transition from a place where you didn't learn how to balance, have any account of income and expenditure, no assets and liabilities. You go to a place where you have to start prioritizing. So the first experience was going to school and having to deal with your portion of paying your student loan. How do you pay that? It was challenging because at the same time, you don't have any income coming in, and you have a mail in the an envelope in the mail with your name saying, oh, you're approved for XYZ credit. Of course, you don't have any training on what that means.
Yes.
They put XYZ amount of interest APR. You just go ahead and grab it, right? You fill out all your personal information, and then they send you the credit card in the mail, and you start melting it. At the end of the month, you receive it. You just pay the minimum. The following month, the amount you paid is still the same, but has gone up.
Yes.
The first month, I did that for 3 months. I said, wait a minute. I spent this XYZ amount of money to buy something, and now I have to pay back more. I said, no, I'm done. This cannot happen. This cannot happen. So I basically starved myself for 3 weeks by having one meal a day, so I could save the extra money to pay off that credit card bill. And I never, from that day as a student, I've never taken loans on credit card. I did what Ni Asong said he is doing. So that's when it started. When I was still a student, I've never had to pay any credit card interest on a loan that I faulted on. So I live within my means. Whatever I'm purchasing on a credit card, I know that I'll have the income to pay for it. If the income is not going to happen, then I don't spend that money. So now the way the credit cards are happening, my credit card interest is 19.99, and with my credit union is 9.99%. But even if I use my credit union at the end of the month, I must pay it off. Then they give me a percentage back.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So I chose to make them pay me back for using their money.
Oh, okay.
30 days in advance. So that's my experience. But now, have I succeeded in training my children to do that? Unfortunately, no. Because they tell me that that's frugal living. And they cannot understand why I don't live like everybody else and have loans.
You're not everybody else.
And I said, if you know how I grew up and you're from my womb, you've got to learn. So the older one has now begin to realize, and I'm hoping that she's training the younger one, because she's finally got it into her head and said, oh, no, 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 I'm not going to buy that. It's too expensive. Please don't let mom see it. You see? So this is telling her sister, oh, we go shopping. Sometimes I just walk like I'm not seeing what's going on. So a little bit of what I have been talking to them, they see it because I say, okay, you're going to buy that, right? They say, yeah, oh, it's $49. I said, plus tax and plus interest if you're not paying it cash and if you're not paying it when it's due. Before it's due, before you get any penalties, and before it goes to collection, if it's something to do with like health and others. They said, oh, no, 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 we're going to pay it. And what happens? They got it. And when the bill comes, they're not around because they travel. And then when they come back and the bill is there, it's overdue, they have to pay. I said, I told you.
Uh-huh.
So that's when the education starts sinking in, because something that was worth $49, they end up paying $100 and something dollars.
Yes.
And they say,
Yes.
oh no, it's not going to happen again. So they've started learning, but the hard way.
Okay.
Unlike me, who learned from having nothing into experiencing it and had to starve myself to have that willpower to not. So if I were to make a suggestion to anyone who is able and capable of not holding on to credit when it's not absolutely necessary, get the credit card, use it, build your credit, because some people need loans for homes or for vehicles, but when it is due, please pay it off
Yes.
and benefit from that. Thank you, sis, for giving me the opportunity to share.
Thank you. Thank you
Ambassador
for
Lisa,
that.
our
Yes.
sister, before we go to Dr. Crossland, I'm so glad Sister Ruth is here.
Yes.
Before we go to Dr. Crossland, when Sister Debbie was talking, reminded me of this is a real life story. We're talking about the psychological impact of financial stress, and it really causes phobia, fear, a lot. And fear, it's a spirit. So this young man had a very bad experience with DoorDash, like this food, they deliver
Yes.
food where his children were ordering DoorDash. He gave his credit card for them to use, but he did not know that they were going to use it DoorDashing, ordering food. Because let's say you buy a piece of salmon for $35 or $40, by the time DoorDash deliver and all the tax and everything else, you're looking at $75 or more. So, but within 1 month, they ran more than $1,000 on credit card DoorDash, and that was his first encounter with DoorDash, and was like, "What is this DoorDash?" So he went to look. He was asking, "So you guys actually spend more than $1,000 on food?" They said they were just DoorDashing. They were not thinking about all the fees and all the taxes. So they're talking about the psychological impact.
Yes.
That experience created this phobia in him, a DoorDash phobia. So he went to a conference and he needed something for his presentation. And the hotel was telling him, oh, just order it and DoorDash will bring the stuff. Just the name DoorDash sent him into a frenzy.
It chills down his body.
So guess what? He took an Uber to Best Buy to buy the stuff, and Uber back. He ended up spending more money than would have happened if he had used DoorDash to bring the stuff.
Yes, but whatever he needed from Best Buy, he can use over and over again too.
Yes, but what I'm saying is that it would have been cheaper for him to use DoorDash than to catch an Uber to go. I'm not talking about Uber Eats, catch an Uber to go to Best Buy to buy this stuff and catch another Uber back. He ended up spending more money than he would have if he had just sent DoorDash to pick it up. But I'm saying that was a psychological. Today, he doesn't want to hear DoorDash.
I understand. I don't blame him.
Of that trauma.
I don't want to hear DoorDash, Uber Eats, none of those.
Grubhub, exactly. But I'm just, those are financial stress can make you even lose more money Because in
Yes.
this case, he ended up losing more money because of that stress associated with that experience. So I just wanted to weigh in on that. Let's go to Dr. Crossley and I'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Crosland. Are you there, my sister?
She's
Yes,
always
just
there.
unmuted, yeah.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello, Miss
Is
Virginia
everybody
Senior.
looking gorgeous as usual and smart as usual?
Thank you.
What's
So
the
we're talking
question?
we're talking about financial stress, the impact of financial stress, the
Psychological.
psychological impact of financial stress. So have you had any experiences that you want to share using credit or DoorDash or those student loans plus the credit cards you got while you were in college that caused some uh, great learning experience? Sometimes these are great learning, but they're very expensive. They're sometimes more expensive than college education.
Well, for me, I think having a reality check, with oneself
Mm-hmm.
is is what happened for me. It was actually a younger generation that helped me with my to become, so I don't have any student loan debt because the way I was raised, having student loan debt was not, you know, wasn't smart. It's like a person spends all that time gaining an education, and that was the one thing I was afraid of is being becoming educated and not having knowledge.
Mm.
And so if a person is going to go through, I don't know, what, 15 years of school and then not understand common sense, I think that's a problem. So I thank God that I was born with knowledge. Um, because when I hear wisdom, I grab onto it and I apply it and I use it. And when I hear foolery, I um I just look at it and I put it where it belongs, in file number 21, which is the garbage can.
Okay.
So uh and my friends are really proud of me for that because I wouldn't have my friends if I didn't have knowledge and wisdom and understanding and look for their advice. I love to get advice. Um, and they love giving me advice. And if I need something, they'll give it to me just because I listen to them. And I try their plan. Their plans work. So, yeah, I love my friends, um, all of them. I learn a lot. So there was a time when my girlfriend built a home and bought an airplane, and um, I asked her for some money, and she gave me some. Um, I asked her again. She continued to give, and then she stopped answering her phone.
You
Well,
said she
because you
stopped
have
answering.
financial stress.
You was causing her stress. You may not have no stress, but you was causing her stress, huh?
I no, she still got money left, but so she taught me a very valuable lesson about friendship. And that's be a friend, but also don't let me hurt myself.
Mm.
Because I she valued our friendship so much. Well, because when we met, she gave me money without me even asking for it. So
What you trying to buy friends? Was she trying to buy friends? What's going on there?
no, she's a Christian. And the Lord told her to give me money.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure he see, she and me, my friends, we listen to God. And that's who we communicate with. I mean, his word says that he owns everything. He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. So if a person calls themselves a Christian and if they need something, I would question their relationship with money, because the Bible clearly leads us and guides us. And if a person is having any type of stress, that's what faith is for. That's what the word of God is for. That's what Jesus died for. He wasn't stressed. And
Well,
go
okay.
ahead.
No. He wasn't stressed, but there were people that walked with him, saw miracles, and they were still stressed. You know, they saw him, they saw the miracles he did, and some of them still had unbelief.
And
yes, we're
that's
talking
where
about
growth
financial
comes in.
stress. We're talking about you and your financial stress.
I
So
praise God. I plead the blood of Jesus.
so when you went to college,
you have to.
Dr. Gloria, when you went to college, you didn't get caught up in those credit cards.
Oh, I thank God. I will reiterate that when a person is a Christian and they grow, you grow in Christ. And anybody who is listening and understands wisdom and understanding and knowledge and can hear what I'm saying, having a relationship with God is more important. A person cannot, absolutely cannot put money above a relationship with Christ. Having a relationship with Christ puts money in its proper perspective. You want to grow in Christ. You want to become more like Jesus, not like the disciples. You want to become like Jesus.
Thank you, Dr.
You're
Gloria.
welcome.
We have with us today one of our other regular contributors, Sister Ruth. We are so glad that she's able to join us as well today as we are
She's
talking
been spending a lot of time with the cows, and we have not seen her.
Yes, she has. She has been speaking a lot. She's been out teaching and educating our people about how to live holy, how to live healthy, because health is our wealth. Welcome, Sister Ruth.
I like the beautiful garden behind you.
I know.
Thank you. I really did miss you guys, but I had a lot, and I appreciate, I was like, oh, let me jump on today.
Thank you.
I'm just glad to be here. And this topic is so close to home to me about financial stress. And the question is, have I experienced it, or do I know people that have experienced
No,
it?
yeah.
Or...
What has been your experience, with your financial stressors, emotionally, financially, spiritually,
Psychological impact of financial
psychologically?
stress. That's the topic.
Okay. So the psychological impact of financial stress is one of those things that I fully understand. I've been through it, cycles of, okay, let me get my finances in order, and I get them in order, and then the next thing you know, they're out of order. So I do. And nobody else wants to say.
Yes, I got you.
Lisa's like, So
I know what you're talking about, Sister Ruth.
yes. So it's a matter of just staying on point, because God calls us to wise stewardship. And yet, for me, if something stressful comes up, I'll just, and I'll say, oh, I'll pay it off. But the other thing I've done for myself, and I recommend to people, is put your stuff on automatic payment so that you don't get those fees. And then slow your roll with spending, especially if it's an emotional time or something's going on. Just pause and go look at the stuff you have in your closet. And I don't want to call anyone out, but I have a dear person in my life that I love so much, and they shop so much that they have like 2 pairs of the same shoes because they forgot they bought them the first
Oh,
time.
God, shopaholics. Oh my God.
Okay, so now I know she's not talking about me. I thought she was talking about me for a minute, but I haven't done that.
No, and that is worse than in my case, like if I saw a shoe or an outfit I like, I could get it in 3 different colors. So that, not now, that was a back then. But this
Yes.
person, theirs is not, it's worse than what mine was. Because if you're
Yeah.
having two sets of this,
I knew someone who they really did not have a lot of money, but they had over 300 pairs of shoes.
okay, that's Imelda Marcos. That was one of my
Yeah, yeah,
nicknames. That was one of my nicknames when I was younger. One of my brothers called me Imelda Marcos.
uh-huh.
And
Sounds like
for
my
the-
son too. So
Imelda Marcos, for those who may not know, she was a woman that had, I think she was
The
6,000.
first lady of the Philippines. She had more
Yes.
than 300 pairs of shoes.
I
yes.
thought it was, I thought it was thousands of pairs of shoes that
Maybe it
woman
was
had.
thousands. I don't know. It was
Yeah,
thousands
but
more than 300 pair. Yeah.
yeah, but this person had 300 pairs of shoes, and I know this because she was cleaning out and she decided to count.
Oh my
Oh.
But
God.
and but for me and my personal thing with it is really honing in on why am I buying this stuff
Mm,
and
good point.
stop, and I make myself stop. I did something called a financial fast where I wasn't allowed to buy anything
Wow. Financial fast. That's a good one.
for
Mhm.
21 days.
Oh,
And even if Prophetess Lisa said, "Hey Ruth, I'm calling, let's go out to lunch," I wasn't even allowed you to take me to lunch.
Oh.
I could
Mm.
not spend any, there was no extra spending. There's no buying cookies from the supermarket, none of
Oh,
that.
that's good.
And it was really good. It was a very good experience, and it is a book. But
Mm,
it and I'm going to do it again because it really showed me how much unnecessary spending that I do.
right.
I need deliverance from Amazon because
Uh,
they make it so cool. I buy even gum from Amazon. That
Well,
that is
I,
because I spend most of my time on my computer, and you know what you're saying is, so I'm just gonna, well, I have to order something today. After I order
now,
it, then I'll
okay,
take that financial. I will not order anything from Amazon for 21 days. God
I
help me. God help me. I'm not. It's not a
yeah,
commitment. It's just a statement. I don't want to make a commitment and not keep it. But that's a very good idea.
but with Amazon, oh, I guess we're allowed to say the name. I have personally decided not to buy from them anymore.
Mhm.
I'm going into this thing of shopping local and
Right.
supporting
Yeah,
local businesses. Um,
exactly.
it's you know, we want people to support us and support our businesses, and we're busy because we can save $3 on Amazon and get it quick. We
Right.
don't want to go to the
Well,
store.
actually, mine is the turnaround because I'm a Prime member, and in most of the time, I don't have time to go to the store. But you're right,
But
you know.
yes.
And the thing is, when Sister Ruth was talking, I thought about the lifespan, and Ambassador Lisa, maybe you can pull it up on the internet. The lifespan of a dollar in different communities, and I think the Black community has the shortest
Yeah, we
lifespan.
have the shortest life. Yes.
Yeah,
It
if
doesn't
someone
stay
can
in that
pull that up,
community.
let's put
It
it
doesn't
there.
stay in that community 24 hours.
No, and it doesn't get spent in our community either.
No.
So yeah, and but you see, when you're undergoing financial stress, you know, you may suffer from insomnia, gastritis, you know, some maybe
Mm,
gain weight or lose weight, you know, your weight fluctuates differently. I don't know what happened to our clinical psychologist. I hope he's okay, you
mhm.
know, but there are just so many things that can happen to you because of financial stress. But to me, like Dr. Foster was saying, you know, if you know God, in Philippians 4:19, it says, I will supply, my God shall supply all of my needs, not according to your paycheck, but according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus. We're not saying that people should not go and walk. This scripture doesn't apply to lazy people or people who don't want to walk. But I think even if you're having financial challenges, which most people in this country are facing because of what is happening and has been happening, even since the pandemic destroyed some of our businesses and they never recoup, they never resurrected, you know, after the pandemic. But you can make up your mind and say to your mind, because that is where the devil operates. That's the center of our reasoning, our thoughts, imaginations, feelings, our will. make up your mind that you're not even going to entertain those thoughts or those fear. You make up your mind that no matter what is happening in the markets, no matter the price of eggs, no matter, just think about it. Cut down on eggs, you're cutting down on cholesterol anyway. Find a good in the situation. Even the hurricane has an eye. The eye of the hurricane is the safest part of the hurricane. It doesn't destroy anything. So you make up your mind in the midst of that, it would protect you from the psychological impact of that financial stress. You are not in denial, because if you don't pay a phone bill, they're going to cut it off. You don't pay a light bill, they'll turn it off. You don't put gas in your car, you're going to be stuck on the way. However, you can decide, if you used to be somebody that, used to drive to neighborhood Walmart and it was just a 10 or 15 minutes walk from your house, you say, okay, well, I'll just walk. And you think about the physical and the benefits of walking, your health, right? And focusing on the fact that you can't drive your car to the neighborhood store, grocery store. You think about it as, okay, you're going to use it as a challenge to walk and get some exercise. So you see the good in every situation. That will cut down on the psychological impact of financial stress.
Thank you, Reverend Pam. Back to you for a minute, Ruth. You just put some things in the chat box. I want you to share those. We were talking about how long the dollar stays in the Black community. I said, I knew it wasn't 24 hours, but you said it's.
I don't say it in the chat box. Did she just send it to you? Wait,
yes, it won't let me send it to everyone.
Oh, okay. Let me make you co-host. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, yes. So, yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
6 hours, it stays in our community.
Lisa, can you repost it to everybody? Because it only went to you.
Okay. So in the Asian community, it lasts 28 days. In the Jewish community, it lasts 19 days. In the white community or Caucasian community, 17 days. In the African American community, it's 6 hours.
Not even one day. Oh my God.
Not even a half a day. Not even 12 hours.
Oh my, put it 1/4 of the day. Put it in the chat box.
Yes, ma'am.
So what should we do to address that? To have
like what we are doing here right now.
When we bring it to our attention, then we can do something about it. When we don't know it because we're not thinking about it, like you said, it's easy to just sit home and jump on your phone or jump on your laptop and run to Amazon and get it delivered to your door.
Same day.
We don't think about, what did you say, Ruth?
It gets Amazon if you have Amazon Prime, same day.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't think about the fact that we're taking the money out of our community, we're putting it in someone else's community because we're saving a couple dollars, and we don't think about the store down the street who is struggling to survive and could use that money. Yes, it's going to cost us a couple extra dollars. I've made a decision to do as much shopping locally as possible after the DEI situation, where Amazon and Targets and Walmarts immediately got rid of DEI programs, as if the DEI program said, oh, you have to hire Black folks. No, what it did was give us an opportunity to show that we are equally as qualified, if not more so. But stores that have gotten rid of the DEI, I didn't just boycott them that one day. I have boycotted ever since.
Ambassador Lisa, one thing they're failing to understand is that DEI doesn't just apply to minorities. There are white DEI programs. Okay, I don't want to call anybody's names, but if you see some of these organizations, you see an older white person bringing in a younger white person, isn't that DEI? They're bringing that person because of their age. It is DEI. DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Right. So it's not about color. People keep making it seem like it's about minority. The only thing is that it helps minorities. Exactly. But the DEI is not just, even when you have a situation where people consider gender, that is part of DEI. You are bringing this person because you want to have a balance. Whether it's age, whether it's gender, whether it's color, whether it's education, it doesn't matter, or really, it doesn't matter. So it's not just about that. So there is a movement called boycott, not boycott, boycott. So Yes, they are pushing for people to stay away from those people, those companies that drop the DI. But I'm glad Harvard did not drop it.
Yeah, I know for a fact that Target was carrying some of our local African American products. I have my former pastor's daughter has her product or had her products in Target. Another sister had her products in Target. And when the powers that be start talking about DEI, and like you said, it's only talked about from a African American perspective.
Yeah,
Target's got rid of all their products, put them out of the store.
that
There
is
were no more of their products
ridiculous.
in their store because they only saw it as a Black issue. So they got rid of their products. So I was like, okay, I think
That's
that,
very myopic of them because it's not a
yes,
Black issue. It's a universal issue. Each time you bring somebody, whether it's based on their age to balance your own old age,
right.
or is based on their educational level, or is based on their even with airlines in the past, all the flight attendants used to be very skinny.
Very
Now
skinny. Yeah,
you
very
don't even see
skinny.
skinny flight attendants.
Yep.
That's DEI. They were bringing even like plus size models and regular companies that do both. All those are DEI programs.
Yeah, well, now the flight attendants are older.
Exactly.
They're, like you said, they're plus size. They don't wear the heels anymore. They don't have to wear the same color lipstick anymore, that regimented, because everything does not work for everybody. So, but these stores have decided they were getting rid of the DEI programs and put the Black vendors out. So I was like, I'm
Why
not.
would they put the vendors out? They could have still gotten rid of the program and kept them there because the Black vendors were performing.
Yes, they were performing, but as I said, the powers that be start talking about DEI, even with the plane crash. We had so many news
That's
media.
dumb. That's
Yeah,
stupidity. Let,
want
let,
to know
let us come back to this
they want to know what we
financial
had to say
stress.
because the helicopter pilot was a white gentleman. The plane who did not hit the helicopter was a Black pilot, and the president said, "Oh, that's because it was DEI. The pilot was DEI." Saying that he wasn't qualified to fly the plane. That's why they had the plane crash when it was not him that crashed into the helicopter crashed into him. So people are listening to his his speeches,
Rhetoric.
his what, Ruth?
Rhetoric.
Rhetoric. Yeah,
His
let's
rhetoric.
move
Thank
away
you.
from that.
They listen to
Let's
his
talk about the
rhetoric
finance.
and they only hear DEI from a certain standpoint, and then
Yeah.
they're, like I said, they're kicking out the Black vendors. So, but we're still talking about the psychological, and that is a psychological impact of
It is
financial stress.
a psychological impact.
You're creating your product, you've got to market it, you've got to have so much of the product to put in the stores, and you get this product, you put it in the stores, and all of a sudden the stores now have kicked you out. So what do you do with all of your product? It's a financial
Well,
stressor.
it is a financial stressor, but what I sometimes find a little hard to swallow is every time something happens, we turn it into a Black issue.
Exactly.
And everything is not. We are not the victims all the time, every day. That's okay, sorry. So when there's something like this going on, who is the actual source of everything? So no matter what happens in the natural, for me, there's a God that has my back.
Oh, yes.
So if they kick me out of the store or they kick me down the street, that is a promotion for me. But
Yeah.
we get stuck in victim mode instead of victory mode. So we start
Exactly.
going, woe is me, instead of being people of action, reaction, because a 1 day boycott is not a boycott to me.
It is not.
What the heck? I'm going to go back the next day and I have
And they're
my
gonna and they recoup that money that they missed. So what? We didn't get it today. We'll get it tomorrow. I got
yeah, because I left it in my basket because I can't.
you.
I left it in the basket. I'll be back tomorrow to get it because the strike is over.
Right.
Doesn't make sense. So when you're boycotting or when you're under financial stress, y'all know every time I talk about, we got to get to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
And Prophetess Lisa said it. It's a lack of education. Sometimes we don't know these
Yes.
things. So the only way to get better at things is to teach people, move the needle. You know, I had a nephew who got a credit card. I guess he was 18. He didn't realize you had to pay it back.
Oh,
Daru, please, please.
it was free money?
Oh my God.
Oh,
So, and you might be thinking, really? Yeah, really. That's how little financial education some people that we have because in my world, if I used the credit card, whether anyone told me or not, I think I would believe that I would be responsible to pay it.
mhm.
Because they send you a bill, you get a
They're going to
statement.
send that bill, right?
Well, he got the bill and he was surprised.
Oh my God.
Was he in college when he got this bill? When he got this credit card?
I know he was of age. He was 18.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another trick of
Yes.
it's buy now, pay later. And it
Mhm.
sounds really good. And we have these good intentions, we're gonna pay it back. However, we haven't prepared to pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
And that buy now, pay later makes it easy for people to spend money they don't have. But then using credit cards is more beneficial than debit cards because you don't really get any benefit from debit cards. You use credit card, like Sister Debbie was saying, the company is paying her for using their money because she used the card, she gets the point, she pays it off at the end of the month. She doesn't have any interest. But how many people know that? They
Right.
know how to use other people's money. And that's what Barry Douglas was teaching us, that's one of the things he was teaching us. How can you use other people's money? You just put,
Yes.
and some people just put their money in the bank, sitting there. The bank is using your money to make more money and giving
Right.
you peanuts.
And giving you peanuts, yes.
Okay, then you ask yourself, why is it that when they are giving you a refund, or let's say you have a program, somebody buys a ticket online, it takes a week or 10 days for you to get your money because the bank is using that money to make money before giving you your money. And they are doing that without your permission.
Mm-hmm.
And all this causes financial stress.
So, Nia-san, what are some of the financial stressors besides credit cards? What are some of the other financial stressors?
It's just lack of effective financial management. When you don't know how to spend your money, you don't know how to use your money, you buy everything you see, or you go shopping when you should not. Those things bring you stress because you end up coming back home to say, oh, but did I really need this thing? So those who go shopping 24/7 or every day of the week should try to avoid that because they will be cutting down on their stress levels.
I like that financial fast. You said it was a book, Ruth.
That please put it. That's a good one. If you have a link, I've never
That was
heard
Sister
of it.
Ruth. Yes, Sister Ruth gave us that.
Financial fast.
Yeah.
Financial fast.
I need to go on that for at least a 1 month.
And I was going to say to Reverend Pam that yes, when you feel that urge to go to Amazon and buy whatever you say you buy every day, just call Sister Ruth to remind you about financial fast.
No, I don't need to call Sister Ruth anymore. I've already said I'm going to go on a financial fast.
Okay, that's a commitment.
She gonna go to the store first.
Yes.
I went to the dollar store this morning. I was on the road and I stopped at the dollar store, and the man that was talking to me in line behind me, he was saying that he had just gone to the store to make some copies. And he said, the box of envelopes that we get here in the dollar store for $1.25? He said the other store wanted $4.25.
Of course.
He said, I needed some Scotch tape. And I'm thinking, I'm here. Let me get the tape. He said, but the tape was $3 for a roll. He said, I'm here at the dollar store versus there. And see, what happens is we're not always prepared. Sometimes we buy things because this is where we are and we think we need it, as opposed to buying ahead of time.
Spontaneous shopping.
Yeah, keep that Scotch tape in the house. Keep that box of envelopes in the house so that when you need it, you don't have to go out to the first place that you find and spend I carry my packing tape with me. I carry packing tape in my bag all the time because I'm always at the
Well,
post office
Ambassador
mailing
Lisa,
stuff.
that stuff is heavy, and airlines airways will soon be charging for luggage. But let me say something
Oh,
about
packing tape. I said packing tape. You know, this.
Yeah, yes, but let me say, yeah, it is heavy. But let me say something, Ambassador Lisa. The dollar store is cheap depending on if you know you're a wise shopper. Let me tell you,
Right.
every time I go to the dollar store, I end up spending way more money than if I just gone into a regular store to pick up what I wanted. Let's say I wanted to just get like a bottle of water, you know. I went into Walmart just to get a bottle of water. That's what I'll get. I will not buy anything else. If I'm going to the dollar store, guess what? I'll buy this, buy that because it looks cheap. Not it's cheaper because there are some of the same things that are in the regular store. You'll see them there. For example, my favorite water, the Dollar Tree carries that water. That thing, my favorite, is a natural alkaline water. It's called Eternal. You know.
Yes.
Yeah. That's my favorite, and I like the way the body is shaped. The bottle is shaped. I like the way it's shaped.
It's shaped like I imagine myself being one day.
Yes, the H shape, the glass, yeah, the hourglass shape. But let me tell you, each time I go there, I spend so much money on things that I would never like. Like I'm one of those people that love lavender. I'll buy Fabuloso, but then something came about from Fabuloso with
Don't
stuff.
buy it.
I know. I'm just saying. Or just some things that I don't even really need, just because you are saying to yourself, okay, this is really cheap, and then you end up spending more money. So dollar stores are not, you need to be careful. That's all I'm saying. We need to be
Exactly.
careful.
Now, when I go with my friends, they always say, how come you brought me to the store and I spent 3 times more than you spent? Because I know what I went to the store to get. I needed envelopes. I knew what I have to mail. I know I needed some 9x12 envelopes, and that's what I buy. I need
Self-control.
a box of number 10 envelopes. That's what I buy. Now, I like to shop. I buy stuff and put it in the shopping cart. I put everything in the shopping cart. And as I'm getting closer to the register, I stop and I go through everything again. And sometimes I stop to see what's an impulse buy, what's necessary. Am I going to need this in the next home? And then I start putting things back. So by the time I get to the register, I have exactly what I went in the store for, except maybe one or two few additional things.
Okay.
But my point is, when you don't know that you're going to need that envelope because you plan to mail something, or you don't know that you're going to need that Scotch tape, and you end up in the store and you're spending 2-3 times more than you would have spent if you'd bought the tape at the dollar store. Like I said, I carry packing tape because I'm always mailing something. The same roll of packing tape that I buy for $1.25, the post office wants $4.99 for a roll. And
Yeah, we see
they don't let you
with your
borrow their
hand.
tape. They tell you to go buy tape off the wall, and you only have one package.
I see Debbie's hand is up.
I see
Yeah,
your hand.
we're waiting for Ambassador Lisa to free. Yeah, Debbie, your hand is up.
Yeah, I see your hand, Debbie.
Hey, Her Excellency, I just wanted to share something. Thank you so much. Just a few seconds.
No, take your time.
No, I have to run because I'll be getting into the car in the next few minutes.
Okay.
Just to say, for the financial readiness, if we could consider looking at Robert Kiyosaki's book on the quadrant. He talks so much about finances and what to do, and he has 4 major issues that he's discussed in his book. So we may consider that. Robert Kiyosaki.
You can put it in the chat box. You can put it in the chat box.
Japanese. It's a Japanese name, but
okay.
If you have the opportunity to get access to that, please look at it. The quadrant, whatever he has there, is very helpful for those who may not have had the experience of going to school to learn on how to handle finances. Thank you so much. I love you all dearly. That's all I wanted.
All right. Thank you,
Kiyosaki.
Yeah, Kiyosaki. So read that Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
No, this is a review because he's not the one that wrote that book.
So when my children were younger, I bought in bulk.
Whatever
they needed was always downstairs. I didn't have to run out to the store. We had
that's his book.
Full of cereals. We had the shelf. It was like going. my ex-husband would come to my house with grocery bags and go home, and his wife think he had done been to the market. He done been to my house shopping. I said, when I send my kids over there to you, I'm not sending them over to you for you to come to my house and buy the food that I have or get the food I have. But that's a way that we can keep some of our financial stressors down. Now, I don't shop like that anymore because my children are grown. They're not eating at home. They're not at home. So I no longer have to shop like that in bulk and have all those things on hand. So, but when you have what you need already on hand, you run the risk of not having to buy at whatever the price is today if you get on shop, if you get on sale. But then again, that also takes discipline. It's on sale and I'm gonna get 3, 4 of them. But that's because I know I have 5 people in my house and I may need 3 or 4 of them. You know, 1 to go in the bathroom and, you know, 3, 4 to put on the shelf so that there's always, you have what you need in a case of emergency instead of buying at regular price. That's one way we can cut down on some of our financial stressors. We're almost, I think we're at the top.
We're at the top of the hour, yeah.
Oh, okay. While I prepare, Ruth, what's a good thing to avoid financial stressors?
Well, you did mention one, that would be buying ahead, things that you know aren't going to go bad. You know you're going to need envelopes somewhere down the road, but also be very thoughtful about your purchases rather than that, sometimes we're emotional, we're upset or something happens. So we say, oh, I need some, they call it retail therapy.
Yes.
But in all of this, I would say pause, just pause.
I have a house full of bags of retail therapy.
No, you know, I first heard that name from my niece the other day. She's like, "Oh, would you like to contribute to my retail therapy?" I was like, "What's that?" He said, "No, shopping." I said, "Really?" I said, "Really?" I mean, I actually agreed before figuring out what it was because I'd never heard the term, you know. But it's not just okay. Like Ambassador Lisa, I don't remember the last time I used an envelope because everything email came and just got. I do almost everything online, but I know that I get the point. The point is actually there's something you're gonna need. Like me, I have a very close relationship with water. And if I'm thirsty, all kinds of water, whether it's shower or drinking water or cleaning water, water to clean. When I need water, if I don't have it, my body really rebels. Really, really rebels. So I have to always stock up on that. That's something I cannot run out of.
Right.
But another thing we can do is make a list, a grocery list. In the past, I never used to make a list, but now I do. You know, and even like you like something, you buy it in more than one colors. I used to do those things. I don't do them anymore.
Yeah.
I was just going to say that, yes, you mentioned that one, the list. Yes, do a shopping list and go to the store only if you have to go. Don't just go to the store because it looks attractive or you hear some good music coming out of there. Go to the store just
or you watch a commercial on TV.
Or
yeah, that's it. Don't watch a commercial and go for the thing you see on the TV.
No, my background.
Yeah, please.
So we are at the top of the hour, and I just wanted to get some of those little benefits out of the way. So let's go to our anthem. Go grab a drink of water. Come back. We'll be back in a few minutes to talk about our upcoming events, and we'll finish the show on the psychological impact of financial stressors.
See you on the yeah, it's not yet up. Okay.
Okay, it's coming.
Oh, Africa. Oh no. Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, Please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people, with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind Africa Online Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does, to identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone, if we believe. Prosperity for Africans, if we believe. Medical facilitation for Africans, if we believe. Stand up, Africa, yes, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is a cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the Africa Online Miracle Jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. We are writing our own story, the truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up, Africans, for Africa. No more lies. Africans own Africa.
Wow. No more lies. Africans own Africa. We want to thank our CEO, Her Royal Highness, Reverend Dr. Pam, for that song that is our anthem, Africa Online's anthem. She wrote it. It belongs to us, and we are so grateful that we have it to share with you every Sunday. Nia Song, our subject and topic for next week.
Let me
No,
announce that
it's
it's
our CEO do it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
we're gonna be talking about female CEOs. So Sister Ruth, you better be here. Ambassador Lisa, Dr. Crossley, Sister Debbie. You guys invite all the female CEOs you know.
Female CEOs.
Yeah,
Okay.
next month is May. We're dedicated to women. The following week, we're going to be talking about mothers, toward Mother's Day. But next week, we are talking female CEO. And
Okay.
they will
Female
come tell
CEOs.
us their stories, and we're going to promote them, their challenges,
Wonderful.
their
That
success.
that
Yeah,
that's actually a very good thing, since we were just talking about keeping our money local, supporting
exactly.
our own businesses. So we're going to be talking to some female CEOs. So that is
Yeah,
going to be the responsibility of everyone to run in through your database and
yep.
through your
Ambassador Lisa,
Rolodexes and
you
find
have a
all your
huge
CEOs.
database, Sister Dr. Crossley, you are Miss World, Senior World Virginia. Get us some of your powerful friends who are CEOs to come talk to our viewers next Sunday. All right. And Ambassador Lisa, you want to announce the New York event, or you want me to?
I was going to let you go ahead and do that.
Okay, so our sister organization, Africa's Brain Bank, that actually implements the projects of AfricaOnline, in addition to stopping the brain drain. We're gonna be in New York City next Labor Day weekend. We're gonna be discussing Africa's brain drain, which is Africa's biggest problem. And for the first time, because I always coordinate the entire event, and I'm doing it this time also, but for the first time, I'll be delivering the keynote because the Lord has given me a specific roadmap on how to solve Africa's brain drain.
Okay.
And a few years ago, I redefined the brain drain. I redefine it. So I will be delivering the keynote. So Ambassador Lisa and everyone here, we need you guys to bring in the money so I don't have to be looking for a sponsorship. I can focus on coordinating the rest of the event and, preparing. For our speakers are all lined up. I've put the link in the chat box. I'm going to put the flyer. Ambassador Lisa, you have the flyer. Let me send it to you to put on the chat box.
No, I don't have the flyer.
Let me send it because my WhatsApp is not open on my thing. I'll send it to you to put. So we have the best plastic surgeon from Beverly Hills coming. We have our cash value king coming, Brother Douglas. We have, of course, the top two biggest stars out of Africa are coming.
Lawyer Castle is coming back.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. Oh no, he's our global ambassador. He's at every event. He hosts us in Lagos, and then we have two of our powerful brothers from Wall Street will be there. So if you're a business person, register your business. Register now and book your hotel. The hotel link is embedded in the ticket, so you have to buy your ticket to have access. The US Open is happening that weekend in New York. Book your hotels are going to be sold out. Register right now and book your hotel room. Our main anchor here will be one of the people that are being recognized. We have several awards going on that day. We're going to have a gala. Thursday night is an informal welcome. Friday morning, we're going to go to United Nations. Friday evening is the business to investor to business market. That whole evening is dedicated to the entrepreneurs and investors and businesses. It's targeted, it's not a zoo. So when you come there, everybody you see in that room is either somebody who is an investor or an entrepreneur. And of course, some of us are going to be customers or both, So, and we're going to have our lawyers there. As a matter of fact, one of our global powerhouse, Ms. Melissa Mohammed, she's an international tax attorney. She's worked with more than 153 countries. She will be there. She's on the panel. And so there's just, I'm going to send the flyer. There are more people that are not on that flyer yet because their headshots did not come in time. So we're going to be updating it. But this is a place where you put in your money, you get way, way more than what you put in. And on Sunday morning, we'll have the Billionaire Breakfast Brunch. Ambassador Lisa, you were there in Atlanta. On Sunday afternoon, we are going to the beach retreat, because a lot of these business people don't get a chance to take a break. Monday morning, Labor Day, we're going to do a tour of New York City. So, but I'm going to send the flyer as Ambassador Lisa can put in the chat box. But that's a link. Go there, and it will tell you everything about the event. Thank you.
And the good thing about the event is you can buy or you can purchase pieces.
Exactly. You don't have
to spend the whole entire conference if that's not working for you.
Exactly. Yes.
And we don't want you to have a psychological impact or this financial stress. If you only want to come for Saturday, you can pay for Saturday. If you want to be there for Friday, that's wonderful. If you want to be there for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you can pay for that. So it's affordable for you to be able to work it how it works.
Exactly. And then we are hoping to have about 100 students. So Ambassador Lisa, even we can take students if they want to come from Philadelphia. It's not that long. It's not that far. Because they are the future. They are the future. And if you want to sponsor a student, it's only $250 per student. Because we want them there on Saturday because they are the future. You know, they need to see Black excellence. They need to see people that look like them that are global powerhouses in various sectors. They need to see, because nobody else is going to tell our story or show the truth. When they see, most of the time they see our people on television as something negative. So
thank you, Reverend Pam. Do you not have the commercial to show?
No, I don't want to put. I have to put it on. I'll upload it on YouTube. Then next, I'll share it next week.
Okay, wonderful.
But let me send you the flyer.
So, don't send it to me on my phone because I won't be able to see it on my phone. I mean, I won't be able to connect it from my phone to my laptop.
Sister Ruth, can I send you the flyer and you cut and paste it on the chat?
Yes.
Can I send it to your WhatsApp?
Yes.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
And you want me to put it in the chat?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have WhatsApp on my laptop, so
I do have it, but it just went off. So. All right, Sister Ruth, I've sent it to you. Over to you, Nias of Ambassador Lisa.
Ambassador Lisa, you go.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay, so we are just about out of time. So we're going to take these last 10 minutes and talk more about the psychological impact of financial stresses. We talked about what some of those stresses were in the beginning part of the show. I would like to take these last 10 minutes and talk about some of the things that we can do to alleviate some of these financial stresses. Right before we went to the top of the hour, we were talking about some things that were good that we could do. I like to continue on that vein. I don't like to always just point out problems. I only point out problems when I have solutions in hand. And so we want to be equally as balanced. So we want to bring you some solutions to financial stressors. One of the things I said was to be prepared. Buy the things that you know you're going to need and have them on hand. Now, we're not talking about Christmas shopping, but Christmas shopping when my children were younger was a big deal for me. I did not allow my children to give me Christmas lists. We didn't play the list thing because I watched what they did. I watched what they were interested in. So I shopped for those things ahead of time. I did Christmas in July. When July 25th was around, I did some Christmas shopping. After Christmas, when things in January and February or 50 and 75% off, the decorations, the games and the toys and some things, I bought then so that I'd have it instead of waiting to next year, November, December. I got to be in the store with all the people crying and the babies are crying and you're yelling and screaming at the kids because they can't walk fast enough because you're trying to buy. I had already had my gifts. By the time Thanksgiving was here, my gifts were already wrapped. That first weekend in December when I put my tree up, gifts went under the tree. So that was a stress reliever for me to be able to buy things at 50 and 75% off and not have to wait to buy them at regular price. I don't like regular price. So that is a stress reliever for me. So what about you? Dr. Gloria, are you still there? I see your mic is on unmuted. Hello?
What's the question?
We're talking about things that we're talking about things that are stress relievers, financial stress. Oh, and I know that Deborah is in the car driving. So Ruth, we're back to you. What is this stress reliever for you?
Apologies, I was trying to. Anyway, a stress reliever for me is writing a list and having a plan. A stress reliever for me is knowing, for me, I know basically how much money is going to be coming in, and just having some type of financial plan so that when the roof gets a leak in it, you're not going, oh my God, how am I going to pay for that? I don't know what I'm going to do. How, but learning how to look at what you bring in, have some money for, I call it a blessed assurance day rather
Right.
than a rainy day. Blessed assurance that I will have the finances to fix the roof. So having money set aside for those emergency things. And then every once in a while, have some fun. Go buy yourself something. Not, you don't have to spend a lot. Sometimes I just
Yes.
like fresh flowers. So $8, $9 on some fresh flowers. But just become aware of what you're doing, because spending, eating, they are both emotional.
Yes.
So keep it in check.
And I know a lot about emotional shopping. I've been emotional shopping since my teenage years because my mother did emotional shopping. Actually, I don't even know if it was emotional shopping. It's just like every payday we went shopping and she brought everything. And when I say everything, I mean everything on the clearance rack, whether it was food in the grocery store or it was clothes or it was shoes. She bought everything that was on clearance. Now, Ruth, if you ask Christopher, he'll tell you about me and them red tags. I'm still trying to be delivered from the red stickers. But it wasn't just for us. My mother shopped for everybody in the neighborhood because everybody's parents could not buy their kids clothes for school, new clothes for school and shoes. So she would buy everything on clearance. And when it was time for shoes, she would lay things out and invite all the neighborhood kids over to pick out clothes, and shoes so they could go to school. And that relieved the pressure on the parents who could not afford it. It relieved the bullying in school when your children don't go to school with that new book bag or those new sneakers and those new clothes. Even though she sewed, now she sewed and made all our clothes, but she bought all the clothes in the store for everybody on the block. So I started doing the same thing.
That was awesome.
And it was a stress reliever for her emotionally. Financially, it wasn't really a big issue financially because we didn't have credit cards back then either, but it was a stress reliever that she was able to relieve the stress and the pressure for other people. And sometimes our financial stress relievers don't just benefit us. We need to look at that side of it, that we're benefiting and helping other people as well. As Dr. Gloria was saying earlier, the Lord just put it on their heart to bless her. And a stress reliever is being in a position to be able to bless others as the Lord lays it on our hearts. When we happen to go down the street and you see homeless people living in a tent, you want to be able to stop and buy food and take them. Or I like to take them in the store. My former pastor used to go get all the homeless people on Sunday after church and put them in his car and take them to nice restaurants where they said, oh, you can't bring them in here because they don't have jackets. He said, show me a sign that says they need a jacket and a tie. Okay, let's go. And he would take them all into restaurants to sit down and have a nice meal. And consequently, they came to the church, they got saved, and to this day, they're pastors, they're husbands and grandfathers and pastors of churches now because he took upon himself to go out on Sundays and gather up homeless people from the street and feed them. You can't get to somebody emotionally or naturally if you don't tend to their natural needs first. And that's been one of my philosophies as well. You got to meet a person emotional or physical needs before you try to talk to them about spiritual things. They hungry, they need to eat. They don't want to hear, look, let me pray for you. They don't want to hear that religious stuff. So that's a stress reliever for me, being able to bless others. Nia, son, what's a stress reliever to you?
Just avoiding going to the store when I don't have. Yes.
That's easy for you as a man to
I
say.
only go when need be.
So you're not one of those husbands that go to the store and hold your wife's handbag or be sitting there with your wife's handbag while she's trying the clothes on?
I do from time to time, but not every day.
Not every day. That's not a regular thing for you.
No, it's not a regular thing for me.
Good. Dr. Glory, it looks like you're back.
Yeah, I saw I come
I
back.
did.
I think it's time for the last word.
She's breaking up. She's breaking up.
Yeah,
Doc-
let's take the last word.
She's gone. She's having internet. I've had internet. I had to come to somebody else's house to use the internet today because I couldn't even get in church today. My internet is not even registering on my computer. I don't know what's going on over there.
Okay.
So, Nia-san,
Are
it's
you
your...
are you sure you're not in Uganda, Ambassador?
No, no, no.
Debbie,
I wish I was.
Debbie, if you're back with us, unmute so that you can give your last word. Debbie, please. Yeah, if you're, yeah.
Oh, I'm glad she
Because-
stayed. Yeah.
Yeah, she's back. Go ahead.
Thank you,
and give
Nick.
us the-
I love you
if-
all so much. And all these topics that you come up with on a weekly basis, it's not just helping shape our population, our communities, but it's also shaping our future generations. Thank you so much. Keep doing what you do best. Back to
Thank
your...
you so much. Yeah, that guy's name is Robert Kiyosaki. We have the link there. Sister Debbie, the topics we come up with them as God gives us. We don't copy anything from anybody, even though people copy our topics, we don't mind. Let them still spread the word because we are trying to raise awareness about issues that affect our people, seek solutions to those issues, and make progress. You know,
That being
so
said, Sister Ruth, it's your turn to give your last word.
Oh, I thought okay.
No, you're not yet giving your last word.
No, that was just part of the
Yes.
conversation.
I thought that was my last word. My last word is that God tells us to use wisdom, and if we don't have wisdom, to ask Him, and He'll give it to us liberally. If you're in a
Liberally.
financially stressed, sit down and look at it. Sometimes we just like shove the bills away and we kind of I call it throwing money at it, just paying it.
Mhm.
So, but if you sit down and you look at it, you see it all in front of you. You and God can come up with a plan so that stress is relieved. So that's my final word. Look
Thank
at
you
what you
so
have.
very much, and don't let us miss you next week because
no.
we're beginning the month of women. So please
Well,
join.
she's a CEO, so she needs to be there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, see, yes,
And bring at
okay,
least one CEO with you.
that's
I'm
right.
gonna I might bring 2 CEOs with me.
Wonderful,
We will
wonderful.
You
appreciate
can
it.
bring even 6. It's our airtime.
That being said, we'll turn to Dr. Krosner. I see she's back. Dr. Krosner, please unmute and let's see if you can give your last word.
Oh, we can't hear
you're
her.
breaking up. You're breaking up. So
She's
we'll
driving. I can see her hand on the steering wheel. So
No, she's driving. That's okay.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Ambassador, it's your turn now to give your last
Thank you.
word.
So, as we've done all month, talked about finances, how to build that generational wealth, how to plan, to know where your money is going. Today, we talked about the psychological impact of financial stressors. We want to always be in a good place financially. We want to be in a good place to be a blessing and to be blessed, to be where we need to be. I want you to continue to join Africa Online every Sunday from 4 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. Now, if you don't know what time we come on in your neighborhood, use the timezoneconverter.com and it will tell you what time we come on in your neck of the woods. Thank you so much. Join our Facebook page, join our YouTube page, like and subscribe. We're here to talk about topics that affect the African on the continent and those of us in the diaspora. Thank you so much. Professor Nia-san, back to you.
Thank you so much. And we'll continue to do this because we need to be doing it. Over now to the chair of Africa Online Media Corporation.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Nia Song, Ambassador Lisa, Sister Ruth, Sister Debbie, Dr. Crosslin, and all our listeners. Please share this YouTube link. Debbie, like us and follow us on YouTube and Facebook. Excuse me, I wish that we had been streaming on YouTube for 9 years, but hey, I was one streaming, so I didn't know any better, but I'm glad, necessity got me into streaming into YouTube, and we still cut the link and put it on our Facebook page. I would say, always seek the face of God, but when God blesses us with that money, we need to be careful. We need to manage it well and not waste it, and we have to start budgeting if we're not using budgets, and make sure you stick to your budget or you allow cushions so that you don't deviate. Budgeting is very, very important. That's something that I never used to do, but that I do now. So it's very, very important, and we have to be disciplined. But above all, there is one person that will always give us directions, and that's God Almighty. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sister Ruth, for coming back. Please, as I said, don't let us miss you next week. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, CEO. That being said, Dr. Crossley, we're sorry we couldn't get to your last word, but because you were driving, but please stay